Hey everybody, Matumbo here. We are back playing some more Standard in Magic Arena as always. Today we are revisiting our deck from yesterday and revamping it to be a non-budget friendly deck to see how we do. But before we get into the video, what I would like to do is, as always, is remind you guys that if you are enjoying the videos, please hit that like button. Please leave a comment below letting me know what you liked about the video, and please subscribe if you are enjoying the content. And as always, hit that bell icon as well to be notified when these videos go live. So with that being said, let's get right into this deck, Cycling Reclamation. So again, we are revisiting the cycling functionality that this new Ikoria set has given us. So this keyword cycling, again, for the cycling cost, typically one colorless, sometimes more, we are going to discard a card to draw a card. So with that, Flourishing Fox is a 1/1 for 1. Every time we cycle, it's going to get +1/+1 permanently, which is huge. We have Zenith Stinger, which is going to deal 1 damage for every time we cycle. And the other cycling cards we feature are Neutralize. It's a 2-mana cycler, but it does counter spell if we decide to cast it as it is. We have Shark Typhoon, or a lot of people are calling this the Sharknado. We can cycle this for 2 mana and X to make an XX shark token with flying, which is awesome. We have Boon of the Wishgiver that lets us cycle for 1, or we can spend 6 mana to draw 4 cards. So those are our cyclers, and we still have Zenith Flare to hit for just a big burst of damage if we fill our graveyard with cyclers. So how does this deck differ than yesterday's deck? Well, obviously you're seeing a ton more rares, but that's not really it. We're also adding in Wilderness Reclamation. This card has been abused ever since this card has been put into Standard. At the beginning of your end step, we untap all lands. You can stack this during your end step, so if you have multiples of these, you can tap all your untapped land, let this trigger, untap, tap all your land again, untap, and so on, like depending on how many of these you have. So it's going to allow you to just build up a lot of mana at the end of your turn, and then you could feed that into an X spell, which we are playing a giant X spell, Expansion Explosion. This is a split card where you can do either side, either or, not both. But with Explosion, you're paying 4 mana and X to deal X damage to any target and draw X cards. So this is awesome with multiple Wilderness Reclamations out, even just one Wilderness Reclamation out. You can do that, draw a bunch of cards, deal a bunch of damage, and potentially that in combination with 1 Zenith Flare should probably take somebody out. But what we've added to this deck, however, is you're going to draw all these cards. So let's say you do this for 10. Well, why do it for 10 when you could potentially do this for just maybe 7, leave those 3 extra mana open, and cast Chance for Glory? So this card, we're only playing 2 of, but this gives our creatures indestructible, not a big deal, but we're taking an extra turn after this one. The only downside, though, is if we can't win the game the next turn, we will lose the game at the end of that turn. So what we can do, we can build up a bunch of giant Sharknado tokens. We can just do a couple of smaller type medium-sized burst damages with Zenith Flare or Expansion Explosion, and then take another turn and then deal the rest of the damage on the following turn after that. So that's what this deck can do. This deck is a lot heavier on land because we are wanting to get a lot of land into play. We're not really playing any ramp. We don't really need to play ramp like Growth Spiral, stuff like that, because of the Wilderness Reclamation. So this is a 27 land deck. Our cycling deck yesterday, the budget version, I believe was only 17 land, if I'm correct in that. So again, and the other difference is there's no companion because we don't need a companion. So this is one way to non-budgetize the deck from yesterday. So I am excited to see how this deck can do. Will we be able to just get in with giant, Flourishing Foxes in combination with the Stingers like we typically would in a budget type build? Or are we going to do the crazy combo stuff like I had mentioned with the giant Expansion Explosions, with the Wilderness Reclamations, or just giant Sharks, or with Zenith Flares? So another thing that we can do, I do want to point out though, is since the other half of Expansion Explosion, so the 2 mana side is you can copy an instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. So you can cast the Zenith Flare and then copy the Zenith Flare for only 2 more mana. So that's something something of note that might come into play. So, all right, what we're going to do, we're going to get to the gameplay. Again, please stay until the end of the video. Besides the fact that it does help, you know, the more that you guys watch, if you stay to the end of the video, you will see the wrap up where we do talk about the deck and what we liked about the deck or what we didn't like about the deck or anything that we might change. All right, so let's get to the gameplay and we will see you guys soon. Oh yeah, man, that was super fast, but we are going to see, we're gonna do the exact opposite of what we did yesterday. We are going to play a non-budget cycling deck. So opponent's going first. We don't really have a awesome one drop here, which is unfortunate, but I think we do go ahead and get our planes so we can play our Fox next turn. Opponent's probably playing like the blue-white Flyers deck. So, maybe just mono-white. Okay, so mono-white life gain. We can definitely deal with some mono-white life gain here. Let's... Alright, let's go ahead and put our 1/1 into play against his army of creatures that are way too overpowering for us. We're not blocking. No, sir. Alright, well. No attacks. So, do believe we are going to block here. Okay, so he's definitely going super wide. Okay, so what does this do? Can't be blocked. So we are going to go ahead and make us a 1/1. We're going to block there and there. Get rid of some of this damage. All right, so we have one cycler. So I don't really think we can afford to take any extra damage right now. Gain 2 life, okay. So he is just... He is just pushing through damage as quickly as possible. Do we... I don't think we are going to cycle this Fox. I don't mind having an additional creature on the board. Okay. All right, well. We are going to counter that. Okay, and that was a perfect draw for us. Perfect draw. So now our deck really just becomes absurd, where we can just... Johnny's Pridemate is fine. We're actually going to be able to outgrow him. Yep. So we'll take it. So we're not going to cycle this land because it is going to... no, actually it's not going to. We are going to cycle this. This is a sorcery. My apologies for forgetting that briefly. There we go. Okay. So we are going to shock this. We are going to draw 4. Okay, no attacks. So the good thing is here we can... well, that's not good. But cancel. Alright, so we have to... If we let this resolve, he gets to kill all of our creatures, and then he just gets through for lethal. So we have to do this for 7 to him. So he can definitely grow some creatures. Probably the Healer's Hawk. Okay, so he's just going to gain life. Fortunately for us, though, we are going to be able to kill his Ajani with our expansion explosion. Alright, so... Alright, we want to stop on our end step. Alright, we want to do this, and we want to... Alright, so no attacks. We're going to go to end step. Alright, so what we're going to do... Blue, so we're going to resolve. And then we can do casting cost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to do this for 6.
We can come back from this.
Okay, we do get to untap, and all right, we're going to pass our turn. We're going to discard a Hollowed Fountain, and a Fabled Passage. So again, good news is if he happens to draw another one, which he didn't, we could have done this for enough to take him down below 35. No blocks. All right, let's cycle it up. All right, so I'm pretty sure we have lethal in some form or fashion here. So let's count how many cards we have. 26 cards. 7, 8, 16, minus 4, 14. (15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we get it for 19 with an expansion explosion. Take another turn. Oh, we want to stop here again. Oh, he's just going to take it? Well, all right, well. We are... Resolve. Resolve. Take another turn. And then we have 9, 10, 13 plus 8. We have 21. So we will do 21 minus 4, 17 minus... Yeah, so we'll just do 17. All right. Discard, 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 discard. And now we just discard a bunch of cards that don't really matter. And we just get there. Well, that was a good first game. All right, so that was a really good first game. The games are going to last a little longer. You know, we have more stuff to do. We have more rares to play. We're going first. This is not a good hand. We're playing against Luris. I think we have to mulligan. Okay, this is better-ish. We're going to keep. I think we have to put the expansion explosion to the bottom, unfortunately. So this is he's either playing cycling or I don't know. I think we would rather play against the cycling deck, or he's playing black/black-red sacrifice. And we'll see what he's up to. So he did mulligan. We'll show him that we are not afraid of Illuris. Alright, so he's playing cycling. And he doesn't have a turn 1 drop. That's really huge. So we're going to go ahead and... We're going to go ahead and get a land here. We're just going to end the turn, essentially. I think we want green. So with green, obviously if we hit something, pay 2 life. Do you want to block? Alright, well. Good thing here, though, is if he attacks, we can block his rescuer with our Shark Typhoon. Our little baby shark. Baby shark, do, baby shark. Alright. Feel like we're going to get him pretty good here. And we drew the Wilderness Reclamation. That was huge. And the land to go with it. Even better. We can't attack into that because we don't have any untapped land. So if he plays Luris, we're just going to snap counter it. Might counter this actually as well. Yeah. Let's go and counter that. So we do have a Luris, not a Luris, a expansion explosion that we could potentially ramp up to. We do have to draw red mana though. But this Shark Typhoon being able to at least cycle in. Is there a trick? If there is, good for him. The only one I could think of is the 4/4. He could fight. I mean, he was going to do that anyway. But now you have nothing, and I have nothing. Alright, let's scry. Um, hmm, this is really good. So we are going to cycle our Shark Typhoon now. That's fine. Again, we're looking for like our deck is trying to like just burst damage him. We want to land. That's like a land, right? But not really. We're not in attack. We are going to end the turn. So that's a sorcery. So we're going to go ahead and scry. We still don't have any red. We actually can't keep that there. How many? We have 4 in the graveyard. Fun cycle now. Okay. So that's good. This enables, he's not going to attack. This enables us to have either this or to, oh, okay. Well, good for you, buddy. You want to get in? Did he? Okay. So really have to prioritize hitting a red land. There we go. So you can untap twice. Can hit him for a lot. How many cyclers does he have? 6. Do we want to cycle ourselves? One, two, three. Well, we can decide. We can decide when we get to our end step. All right, so we are going to decide when we get to our end step. Hopefully he's going to do what he's going to do. Okay. All right, so he still has a cycler. Oh, whoops. Three, 4, 5, 6, 14. Do this for 10. And we actually did not draw any of our counters. 4. 6, 7, 8, 9. And he has a Zenith Flare. That was a good draw. That was a really good draw. Oh, he has enough in his graveyard anyway. Okay, well, he doesn't actually have a Zenith Flare. He would have cast it. And he's not going to have enough cyclers to kill us. So that's good. Yeah, good game. Let me cancel this. All right, good game. 2-0. Let's keep it up. That was a really good game against that cycling deck. I feel like we made some really important key decisions in regards to cycling our Shark Typhoons at the right time for the right amounts. 1173502. What a appropriate name for a Teferi, not a Teferi, a Tezzeret avatar. So we're gonna keep. Oh, do we keep this though? Playing against Luris again. So, what would we do first? We would go for an island, shock in, drain its stinger. This does have potential, so we'll go ahead and keep it. It's our decision. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and do this to speed the turns up. So what is he playing? He is also playing cycling. And again, not a drop on turn 1, so that's really huge. Let's not accidentally cycle on our side. So he has to have a 2-drop. He's trying to figure out why we're playing Dranith Stinger in our deck. He's like, oh, he's just hovering over everything. Okay. So we're going to attack. Which one's this? Okay. We're going to offer up the trade. We're going to play this land, and we're going to play another Stinger. And see what he wants to do. Maybe he'll just go land Luris, and then we, on our turn, just play land, attack, offer the trade that we know he won't take, and then on his turn, he'll just swing back in with Luris, and then we can cycle our Shark Typhoon. But that's a lot of wishful thinking. So he's cycling. He's probably digging for land. His version of the deck only plays probably 17 to 18 land. Okay. So, do we offer the trade here? Of course we do. Fox is way better than Stinger is. But, so we're just hoping he tap lands into Luris. Okay. Well, it didn't happen. So the only good thing about this is now we are still going to cycle the Shark Typhoon, but this allows us to actually cycle to make a 1/1 as opposed to a 2/2 to tap out. The importance of that is in case you draw 1 mana cycler. So he's going to fight, I guess. A fight here would be awesome. And I think he's going to do that. This is going to be a big blowout if he does this. Oh, man. He is not going to like this. Oh, man. I'm sorry, buddy. And that drew us into Wilderness Reclamation. That's huge. Yeah, so we didn't need to do anything there. We're gonna cycle for a 3/3 at the end of the turn. Okay. So on his turn, I might have prioritized actually playing Luris and bringing back the Fox. Yeah, these those 2 damage that he did to us are not really going to make a difference. So depending on... I didn't really draw anything good. Alright, well, we're just going to kind of sit back. He has to deal a lot of damage to us. You can't really burn us out because we can Zenith Flare in response. But he does have a lot of cards in his graveyard. Everything has cycling. Alright, so that's gonna... This should solidify the game. Yeah, we're good. Good game, opponent. I mean, if he wants to go for blood again, I think... No, he's not going to. Yep. We're taking it. And then, just to double check, go for blood is a sorcery. You don't want to save that for my turn to make another 1/1? Don't want to slow roll. We just want to be done with this. Those 4 damage Zenith Flares. Oh, those are a beast of a card right there. So that was 2 cycling decks in a row that we played against and beat. I don't want to keep playing cycling decks, obviously, but... Just have to see what we keep playing against. Again, cycling's popular. I did feature it in our video yesterday. The budget build. The budget build obviously is really good. You don't need to be playing any rares. It's really good as an introductory deck to players. You learn a lot of really cool abilities like right off the bat. So, all right. So we are going to Hollowed Fountain. Yeah, we're gonna keep this. I know it's going to happen eventually. I know I'm going to accidentally cycle a Fox on turn 1 and then just hate myself. I really like to draw another land. That's perfect. That was perfect. So... I think we are going to cycle this. Get Getting that extra damage. That's huge too. That lets us not shock next turn. So this is most likely a Doom Foretold deck. Well. See if he blocks. Of course he's going to block, but we're still going to make him do it. So we are okay with the Doom Foretold. We will sack our Fox. Time Raveler. They're just gonna bounce the Fox. That's fine. So I think it's gonna lead us to. Get cards in the graveyard.
Now what?
I wanted that off the board now, just so he couldn't power out some kind of crazy. I really hope he bounces this Wilderness Reclamation.
Welcome to my
Okay.
Walker.
That worked out pretty well.
Surrender every morsel of fear.
Definitely gonna kill that guy.
I will haunt your dreams.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. We draw 4 here. I think we do. I think that's definitely worth drawing 4 there while he's tapped out. Replenish our hand. That's fine. Alright, so we're going to thin our deck. We're going to cycle this. That was a good hit. We are going to scry. So are these worth it? I don't think they are. I want to say they are, but they're not. So this neutralize is really good. God, I don't really know if we care. We should just be faster than Kaya.
I didn't say fair.
So he's targeting a Zenith Flare and a... I think maybe we should have cycled in response to that. Yeah, we should have. Alright, well. So I had a stop set there. Why did it do it that way? We're going to draw 4. So we do have a lot of... So we can scry 2 and draw a card. We have a full grip, so...
You better watch your back from here on out.
That's fine. Yep. That does suck that we aren't able to play that next turn, but I really don't think it matters. I feel like this is the turn for us either just to win or lose. Neutralize. So Zenith Flare, Zenith Flare, Zenith Flare. Could kill Kaya. Could also put him down. All right, so let's cycle one of those. We have 8 in the graveyard. We have... another one of those. So that's a 9. So we can shock. Pay 2 life. Ten, 11, 12. We're gonna make a 1/1. Oh, that would have been good to have last go. I still think we win. I mean, we only have, what, 5 cards exiled? He could trade that in for 5. But and we are going to be able to Shark Typhoon. Okay. That's fine. These are really long games that we're playing today. Dream Trawler, huh? Dream Trawler, Dream Trawler, Trawler. I think we're countering a Dream Trawler. And we are going to make a 1, 2, 3. Or we could scry. I think we just make a 4/4. So I'm fairly positive that's lethal. He's all tapped out. Let's not overcomplicate things. All right. Good old copying Zenith Flares. All right. Will we be able to successfully 5-0 two different cycling decks? We're about to find out. If we ever get paired against some, there we go. Slizzix. Maybe we won't be playing against the Luris deck, or is that too much to ask? Oh, look at that. We're going first. We can... I don't think this is a good hand. I don't think we can keep this. This is better. We're going first. We're going to put back Chance for Glory. Not a card we necessarily want in our opener. So we do have to remember that this Fabled Passage has to get us a green mana. So is our opponent just on mono white? No, white green tokens. Creatures you control gain trample. So good thing is if he plays some kind of crazy instant or sorcery, we can just copy it. That never happens though. Never happens. Especially not in green-white. It's a possibility. If only we could copy that. Okay. You've done it. All right, we're going to go get a white mana. This makes red. Just hope he doesn't have another one. Okay. He still could have another. So we do have to prioritize playing this land. No, we're gonna cycle. We'll draw land. We play 27 land in our deck, I think. That'll work too. Let's do this. So I definitely do want to draw 4 here. So we're gonna do 4. Deal damage, draw cards. But then 1/1 Zenith Flares. We're coming, everybody. Boom, ping, 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 ping. These are Timmy Flares right now. So when this dies, he gets 2 2/2s. All right, so definitely playing this. We are going to so we're going to play one of those, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cycle for 5. Okay. So we're set up to win next turn. +2, +1. Let's see what happens. So blocking with the stinger is going to put in 1 life for each. Okay, that's fine. Still think we're good. Each player gains 4 life. Okay, even better. So we are going to... We're going to cycle this. Holy Zenith Flares. We're going to Zenith Flare the crap out of him. So... Can we deal... So that puts us at 5, 10, 15, 20. I think we win. Set our end stop. Oh yeah, we definitely win now. And then we're actually going to play this now. So we are going to in for 5. We're going to untap. So we have to hold full control here. And we are going to tap for red, blue, white, red. Like I said, full control. Submit. Auto pay. Submit auto pay. And we resolve. Good game. Awesome. Those are awesome matches. All right, guys, it is time for the wrap up. And as luck would have it, based on our matchups, we also went 5-0. And so total is 10-0 in video matches for our 2 cycling decks. 11-0 if you count the one where our opponent just conceded as soon as we played a turn 1 Fox. So this deck is great. It plays a lot different than our other cycling deck. Obviously, this deck has a lot more interaction. You have your thought process has to extend a little bit. You're not just playing a 1-man or a 2-mana dork and then just cycling until Zenith Flare. It is a little bit different. So with that being said, what did we like? We liked pretty much everything about this deck. I think my favorite card out of this deck is probably the Shark Typhoon. That in combination with the Wilderness Reclamation is pretty ridiculous to be able to make these giant sharks. but I really, really like, you know, Shark Typhoon or Sharknado, whatever you want to call it. It's just one of my favorite cards from this set. Now, the Wilderness Reclamation, the expansion explosions, whether we were casting it for, you know, huge amounts for X, or if we were copying the Zenith Flares, those were great. The Boon of the Wish Giver, kind of up in the air in that. I do understand we want to play it. We can tap out, you know, 6 mana and then untap during our end step with Wilderness Reclamation. That is huge. It's not my favorite card in the deck. That's a card I might drop to 3 of. Chance for Glory. We did have what 2 games I think where we cast that, and it won us the game. But I'm not sure about it. It might drop to 1 or it might stay at 2. I have to really kind of revisit that. The other card, Neutralize, was great. You know, it's not really something you typically want to cycle, but sometimes you need to. But it's a great just being there to counter a spell. The Stinger, kind of underwhelming in this deck. It's not really where we want to be dealing damage. So that also might drop to a 3 of. So I feel like what we want to do, and it wouldn't have really come into play in any of the games that we played, but if I were to play this deck again, I would try to fit in two cards in combination of 1 Wilt. Wilt is a 2 mana, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and it cycles for 2, or and also 1 Barrier Breach. So maybe 1 of each of these, or two of one of them. This one exiles up to 3 target enchantments. This can't hit artifacts, but you know, hitting 3 enchantments, it's really huge. There's a lot of enchantment decks right now, like Elspeth Conquers of Death, stuff like that. But then on the other side of that, there are a lot of decks that play, you know, like the Witch's Oven with the Cauldron Familiar. So this hits the artifact of that. So, but that's really where I would be on this deck. Again, this deck is a lot of fun. This deck is a lot more expensive to build. There are a couple mythics in the deck with the Chance for Glories. You don't necessarily have to play those, or if you only have 1, feel free to only try 1 of those. But we are going to hit, again, a lot of rares in the fact that there are 4 Sharknados, expansion explosions, and then a bunch of land. Most of the lands are rare. All of the lands are rares except for the 5 basic lands that we're playing. So there's 22 rares alone just in the land. So take it as you will. Give this deck a try. Tell me what you think of this deck in comparison to our deck that we played yesterday. You know, leave those comments below. I'd love to see what you guys have to think about it. If you enjoy the video, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. And please share the video. We're trying to grow. So if you like it, maybe your friends will like it too. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys are staying safe. You guys, we will see you next time.